So, a management system for quality in healthcare organizations, this is the subject for us. And as I told you in the previous video, I think we should start talking about this subject by understanding first what is a management system in general. And then we can get to the specifics of this particular type of management system that addresses quality in healthcare organizations. So, according to ISO, a management system represents a set of interrelated or interacting elements of an organization to establish policies and objectives, as well as processes to achieve those objectives. True that this is not exactly the easiest definition to understand, but you could say that a management system includes processes, procedures, controls, responsibilities, resources, activities that are managed by an organization with the aim of achieving its objectives. A management system can address different disciplines individually, or if it is an integrated management system, then it can address more disciplines at the same time, and those disciplines are in relation to the objectives that the organization wants to achieve by applying the management system. For example, if the objectives are in relation to quality, then here we speak about a quality management system. But if the objectives that the organization wants to achieve relate to environmental protection, then this company will apply an environmental management system. Or if the company wants to improve its energy efficiency and its energy performance, then it can do that with an energy management system. In our case, we speak about a management system for quality, of course, but a particular kind of quality management system, one that is intended to be applied in a healthcare organization. What would be the reason why a healthcare organization would be interested to implement such a quality management system? Well, the drivers behind the decision to adopt such a system can be in relation to a requirement from a customer, maybe, or from another stakeholder like an insurance company, or maybe a regulatory agency, or the healthcare organization may want to prove to the users of its services that it is doing everything in order to offer quality services. Or maybe the top management of the healthcare organization wants to have more control over how the processes of the company work. And a management system can certainly help with that. And those are just some examples of drivers that are usually behind the decision to adopt a management system for quality. ISO 7101 provides also some examples of aims of such a management system. For example, one such aim can be to create a culture of quality in the healthcare organization. Other examples of aims for a management system can be to ensure patient and workforce safety, or to better monitor the clinical and non clinical performance of the organization. The continual improvement of processes and services is another example of aim for a quality management system. I should state from the beginning that certainly the most important factor contributing to the success of a management system is the commitment from all levels in the organization, led, of course, by the top management. And we will come back to this subject a little bit later. The complexity of a management system for quality will vary depending on the context of the organization that implements it. A management system for a large hospital will be much more detailed, with many more procedures and controls than the system applied in a small private practice. This is obvious. And another factor that may influence the complexity of a management system is the legal and regulatory context where it is applied. This context varies from one jurisdiction to another, and it also varies in relation to the nature of the activities and of the services provided by the healthcare organization. I mentioned that we should discuss a bit about the Plan Do Study Act, PDSA model, which according to ISO 7101 should be used by the organization implementing the management system for quality in order to achieve continual improvement. Maybe you are familiar with the PDCA model or cycle. That's Plan, Do, Check, Act, and it is recommended by ISO 9001 and by other management system standards. Here we have PDSA, so we have study in the place of check. That's the difference. Both are iterative approaches to achieve continual improvement, and we will focus on the PDSA because this is the concept proposed by ISO 7101. And this picture illustrates the elements of the management system for quality in a healthcare organization according to the standard. And also we have the four different stages or steps of the PDSA represented in the graphic. So, let's see what they refer to. Plan. This is the first step of the PDSA is about establishing healthcare quality objectives and processes needed to deliver results in accordance with the healthcare quality policy of the organization. The sixth clause of ISO 7101 is about plan, and we will discuss it at the right moment, of course. Then do, the second stage, is about implementing what has been planned earlier. Clauses 7 and 8 of the standard, which are called support and operation, are about this second stage of the PDSA. Then study is a bit different than the check of the PDCA because it refers to a more scientific approach to monitor, to measure, and assess the processes planned and implemented in the previous two stages. However, the main objective for study and also for check, so for the third stage of the cycle, is the same, to see if the processes operate as intended and if the commitments of the organization are fulfilled. Chapter 9 of ISO 7101 Performance Evaluation is about this step of the PDSA called study. And finally, the fourth and the last stage of the PDSA is ACT, which is addressed in Clause 10 of our standard, and which is about the organization taking actions to continually improve its performance and its management system. In the middle of the graphic, you see leadership. And this is because the support from the leaders of the organization is vital for the success of the management system. In Clause 5 of ISO 7001, we will discuss about leadership. This is what the Plan, Do, Study, Act model is about. And I think we have now a pretty good image about the main elements of a management system for quality. So from here on, we will get to the details. The requirements of the standard begin from Clause 4. That is called context of the organization. The first three chapters are scope. Chapter 1, where we are explained what is the purpose of ISO 7101 and who can use the standard. Then, chapter 2 is called normative references, and we have no such references, but the structure of the standard must be in line with the structure used by ISO for all its management system standards. That's why we have this second chapter. And clause 3 or chapter 3 is called terms and definitions. And here we have many definitions, but I will not make a video to tell you about the definitions. I think the better approach would be to explain the terms that require an explanation at the moment when we encounter them along our journey through the provisions of the standard. So, from the next video, we get to a different section of our course, a section that is dedicated to the fourth clause of ISO 7101, context of the organization,